Howdy, and welcome to another flashlight overview, tutorial, and review from Longhorn Tactical. Today we're looking at Fenix's newest light, the PD40R version 3. This is a 3000 lumen rechargeable tactical EDC flashlight with an upgraded rotary system from the last one. And so with that being said, please make sure to subscribe and like the video, and let's get on to it. I hope you enjoyed those beam shots there in the intro. I had a lot of fun getting them with this light. Anyways, unboxing this light, you can see that it comes with a lot of bang for your buck. The package includes a pretty handy nylon holster and a lanyard, an USB-C charging cable, and an extra O-ring that's also in this package with the lanyard. And then as well as that, you have your paperwork, which comes with catalogs, user manual, and your warranty. And then of course you have the light itself, which already comes pre-installed with this detachable clip. And then as well, inside the flashlight itself, you have the Fenix 21700 ARB L21 5000 version 2 battery, which is a lithium-ion battery that's rechargeable. And then after I did some research on this battery, it's actually compatible with all the Fenix lights that use the ARB L21 5000 type batteries, but this is just the newest version of that battery. And then moving on to the overview of this light, I'm gonna go ahead and start at the head. Here you can see the luminous SFT70 LED, which is gonna be an upgrade from the last one, and I'll grab that right here for you, which is the luminous SST70 LED. But the thing about this one is this LED is more geared towards long throwing, and you can really see that in the numbers, and I will get to that here in a bit. And on a similar note, you can see here as well the polished reflector surrounding that LED, and that's also really going to help throw that light down range. And of course, the part y'all have all been waiting for, we have the upgraded rotary switch right here on the head. It has these vertical grooves for increased grip, and you can see all the mode indicators here, which are pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. And while we're here, in my own opinion, I really like the feel of the version 3 as compared to the version 2. This one, in my opinion, feels a lot more tighter and mechanical, and this one feels a little bit looser and slightly more gritty. And so I'm definitely a lot more of a fan of the feeling of this one, especially considering you have these vertical grips to really switch between the modes. And then onto the body of the flashlight, we actually have these heat dissipating fins that are actually below the rotary switch, which is a nice upgrade from the original where they used to be on the actual rotary switch themselves. And then around back here, you have the USB-C charging port and then the battery indicator light. And it's pretty straightforward whenever charging, because if I were to plug it in here for you, the red light means that it's charging, and then whenever the light turns green, that means that the battery is full. And during operation, the light will turn on for a brief amount of time before turning back off to conserve battery life. And then of course, I have what all the colors mean here on screen for you. And of course, the body material is aero-grade aluminum alloy. I'm also a really big fan of this texture, as Fenix is kind of known for their really small grooves that give their flashlights a really unique texture. To me, it's kind of soft, but also sandpapery, if that makes any sort of sense. It has a lot of friction, but it's super nice on your hands. And then lastly, here at the end of the light, you have the little groove where you can attach the clip, and I have it clipped on right now because I like clips. And then, of course, you have no tail switch because everything's controlled by the rotary switch. And then as well as that, you have these two fins that allow the light to do a tail stand just like that. And then as well, these two fins that allow it to tail stand also have holes in it, so that way you can attach your lanyard if you want to. But again, I'm a big clip person. I love clips. Now on to how to operate this light. I'm gonna be honest, the PD40R version 3 probably has one of the most stupid-proof user interfaces that I have ever seen. It's all controlled by just this one rotary switch, and what you see is pretty much what you get. By rotating the switch to the right, you can actually increase the brightness from low to medium to high to turbo, and then to SOS, and then strobe. And then to turn the light off, decrease brightness, get out of auxiliary mode, all the same, you just click it the opposite direction back to the left. This brings me to yet another upgrade of the V3 over the V2. As right before you get to your auxiliary modes here on the V3, you feel a bit of a speed bump before you get to the SOS. You see, the old light didn't have this, and so a lot of people were complaining that they would strobe themselves because there's no difference in the feeling between your turbo and your strobe, or the medium and the turbo. They didn't know where they were on the switch. And so I feel like this is a really good solution, just because it makes it really hard to overshoot turbo if that's what you're going for, but also it doesn't sacrifice your accessibility to strobe, just because it's pretty easy to crank this thing and then get to SOS if you need it. So again, I really appreciate the speed bump. And also a really nice detail is once you're in SOS here, you don't feel the speed bump going backwards. It's only going from turbo to SOS, but not going from SOS back to your main function lights. So I think that's really great attention to detail from Fenix there. Also, this light can be activated while it's being charged, but you're limited to low and medium outputs, where the first turn is going to be low, and then all other modes on the flashlight are going to be your medium output. And now it's time for my favorite segment. It's time for the specs. The low setting outputs 30 lumens at a runtime of 89 hours, and then the medium setting outputs 350 lumens for a runtime of 8 hours and 30 minutes. Your high mode outputs 1000 lumens for 3 hours and 10 minutes of runtime, and then the turbo outputs 3000 lumens for 2 hours and 40 minutes of runtime. And then the turbo setting has a beam throw of an incredible 547 yards, which is over 100 yards of the previous version. And the light intensity is pretty dang powerful as well, as it's sitting at 60,954 candela. This light is built tough as well on top of all that power. It's impact resistant and IP68 dust proof and waterproof. It just works underwater as well. It's crazy. And lastly, for the specs, I have the height and weight here on screen, and then you can also just see it here in my hand. I have pretty normal size hands. I feel like it's a really good size and weight for a tactical light. It might be a little bit bulky for an EDC, but with all the carrying options, including the clip, the lanyard, and the holster, it's portable no matter what. And then on to my personal thoughts on this light. I really enjoyed getting to test out the throw of this light on the creek and on the walking path. You can really see all 547 yards that Fenix is advertising. And then to be honest, high or medium settings was usually enough just to keep my path lit. I rarely had to switch over to turbo because I felt like I couldn't see enough. Like, this light is pretty dang powerful. I'm also a huge fan of the upgraded rotary switch and the ways that they upgraded it. The speed bump is great because, like, outside at night, whenever this thing is shining off 1000 lumens, I can't see what's on the head of the flashlight. And so being able to feel where I am is really helpful as well. As well as that, the vertical grip is a lifesaver. Just because, like, nighttime temperatures here in Austin, Texas, they hover around 90 degrees. And I was sweating my butt off at the creek and on the walking path. And so being able to switch on the rotary switch with just one hand is something great. And I really don't think the version 2 could have really pulled off. And with that, that wraps up my thoughts and this video on the new PD40R version 3 from Fenix. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and that you found it helpful for overviewing, demonstrating, and reviewing this awesome rotary controlled flashlight.